Hey everybody, Marcus Shan here. Hey, if you want to sell a lot more and earn a lot more, doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling your income, I'm really excited to share with you a case study with my student, Chris, who's in our program, who did exactly that, where he nearly quadrupled his income. Keep watching and enjoy. All right, what's going on? Marcus Shan here, and I'm super pumped. I got my guy, Chris, here, a student and client of ours in our program. Chris, welcome, my man. Do you want to just introduce yourself and share who you are and what you do?
Thank you for having me, Marcus. I'm super excited to be here. My name's Chris Bushnell. I am a mortgage broker over here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Now, what was some of the challenges you ran into before you joined our program?
Sure, man. So, some of the challenges that I had, I think that the main one was not being a consultant, right? So being a salesperson in the sense that I had happy ears, right? And basically I was like a hungry guy, always just looking for the sale, but not taking a step back and having a phenomenal discovery, right? Being a consultant, asking questions and asking questions about their answers to the questions that you're asking them, right? Clarifying over and over and over again. I wasn't doing those things, asking why, digging deep. And a lot of it was just, okay, I'm going to grind out and I'm going to, make all of these calls and I'm just going to, basically just work hard. But not being a consultant, I was always just looking for a yes. Whereas now I even sometimes try to convince people to not buy, right? Because that's in their best interest, right? As a consultant, it's not always about just getting the sale. It's about what's in the best interest for your client. One of the things that I learned from you is, that I don't sell products. I don't even offer services, right? I offer a solution. And that's something that I wasn't doing before joining your program. It was always about, here's what I'm selling, here's what it can do for you, but not really understanding their needs, their challenges, their why. And so I think that's something that I really improved on after taking your program.
Oh, I love that, man. I mean, you're so right. It's like when some people, when they try to play the high activity model, making tons of calls and working their tail off, and then they're trying to force people to buy, and then they don't feel good, and then they're burnt out. It's the end of the cycle. And you're not really serving them. You're like a beggar. You're like begging for sales.
Yeah.
When you actually serve them properly, sometimes they're just not a good fit, and that's totally cool. So I love that.
Totally, man. I mean, you can't. It's a way to burn out. It's you just morally you're like, do I even feel right doing this, pressuring somebody when it might, maybe it's in their best interest, maybe it's not, but I'm not even asking the questions to even know that.
That's right.
Just being a consultant is something that I've really improved on a lot from your program.
I love it. So for you, why did you choose to join our program specifically over any other program?
Sure. So, I'll start off by saying that I have taken coaching programs before, and I just genuinely believe in coaching. I think that in order to be the best version of yourself, you need to have a coach. You need to have other people help you get there. So I just internally believe in that. In terms of why did I join your program specifically, you have a really strong social media presence and a really strong online presence, right? You do. I mean, it's awesome, man. And I learned a lot from you on how to do the same for my online presence. And, just following your content on social media, over a week, sometimes even months, just seeing the things that you're posting and thinking, that's interesting. That's I hadn't thought of that, right? So looking at your posts and then, doing research on my own. And then one day you had a free training, and I wish I could remember even what the training was. But what I don't
remember. I've created so many.
Yeah, man. Right. I mean, people need to go to these things because it's high quality content for free. Why wouldn't you? But you were just dropping bomb after bomb, right? And it was really engaging stuff. And afterward, I believe you had followed up with me and you asked me if I wanted to join the program. And for me, it was a no-brainer, right? I knew I had to do it because at the very least, I knew that by taking your program, I would at least be a better version of myself. I would perform at a higher level than I had been because I know you had done that for other people. Right. And if you want to be awesome, right, learn from people who have helped other people be awesome and who are awesome themselves. I'll let
Oh, I
you.
love that, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, overall, was there anything particular that really helped you across the board that's most effective for you?
Sure. So, I'd mentioned the consultative approach, which is something that I learned a lot of things from you in terms of that. But, another thing that if you want to get, sort of into how your program, helps in life, right? It's the mentality, right? It's, we work in sales, and, it doesn't really matter what you're selling or what, specific niche that you're in. It's a tough industry, and it takes a lot of mental wellness and mental strength to be successful in it, right? There's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of downness, right? So, the mentality and the strong mental approach that I learned from your program has been super successful, right? So one thing, and I don't know if you know about this, Marcus, is that, before I had gotten into the industry that I'm in, I was laid off twice within 6 months. Right. And then went off to earn multiple six figures the next year. Right. But it was difficult, right, to be laid off twice. And I was the top performer at the first company, and they laid off everybody, but still it sucks being laid off. Right. And some of the things, ants, right. Getting rid of the ants, the automatic negative thoughts, not letting those affect you. And just, one thing that I still look at it every day that I learned from you is that, top performers execute regardless of how they feel. And that's something that I take every single day. I have a Post-it note and I look at it, because you're not always going to have good days every day, but you have to execute, right? If you want to get to that point, if you have similar ambitions as me and have like super lofty goals, there are going to be days that you're not feeling it, but you need to perform regardless if you want to be a top performer. So, the mental wellness approach that I've learned from your program, I think is, when I'd mentioned it applies to B2C, it applies to life. Those are the things that apply universally.
I love that, man. I mean, to me, it's so key, because if we learning how to show up for yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel, is what separates the great from the average, right? And I love that you're internal. So for you, about how long did it take for you to see any type of results?
So for me, it took a little bit, right? Because, like I said, I gotten laid off, not because of COVID, right? Because my company like basically went out of business. And then I joined another company, and, then they laid off everybody because of COVID. So I had a little hurdles. But I can tell you, when I joined my new company in late 2020, it took me like 3 months to ramp up, and then I was out of the gates. I mean, I took all those things and I just applied it immediately. There's another thing that you had mentioned in your program. It was, and I hope I get this right, it was the skill and effort scale.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I knew going into it, I was in a brand new industry. I had zero experience, but I could put in more effort than most people. And the one thing that I told myself from the start is that, I'm going to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can. And I know I'm going to get that skill. And when I do, I'm going to maintain the same effort, which is exactly what I do. And that's,
I love it.
I had some pretty crazy success, but it didn't take me that long to have some pretty crazy success.
I love it, man. So for you, when you think about overall, probably been your proudest as a result of implementing the program?
My proudest outcome, I was able to make donations to some organizations that, back home that helped me when I was a kid that I would not have been able to do, some pretty large donations. That's an awesome one. I bought a house. All right. That's pretty cool.
No big deal.
Yeah. And, a new car, and like, it's pretty awesome stuff. But I think just being able to give back has been the most impactful thing. Or everybody, a lot of people want to give back, but it's very difficult when you're, not financially where you want to be. So for me to have gotten to where I needed to be, and I, not even close to where I want to be, right? I mean, it was great, but, there's still levels to it. But at least I was at a point to where I can give back, and I can help out other people and do things for my family that otherwise I couldn't have done prior.
I love that, right? Because it's money's not everything, but it gives you choices and options, right?
Yeah, it does. It's a vehicle.
to be able to help others. I mean, that's why I'm a firm believer. The better we are at selling, the more people we can serve, not just our prospects, but also with the income we generate, we can help so many more people now, right? I
Yeah,
love that.
absolutely, man. It's all about making an impact. And you know, I see money as a vehicle, as a medium, as a tool to help make a larger impact.
I love it. I love it. So if you think back, where do you think you would be if you hadn't taken action, Joiner?
If I hadn't taken action, probably struggling, right? You know, probably still trying to figure out how to get over that $100,000 hump. All right. It's something that for the longest time that I was just a goal of mine, that I knew that was where I needed to be. That's where I wanted to be. And, you know, it took me a long time to figure out how to do it. And now I've crushed it. But I'm not sure that I would have ever exceeded that goal, you know, had I not joined your program.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. So if there was someone that was watching this that was a little bit on the fence about joining our program, what would you say to them?
Just join the program, right? Invest in yourself, right? I mean, you see all of these different things that you can invest in. You know, the stock market is down right now. You can put money into the stock market. You can invest in crypto, anything, NFTs, whatever it is. Real estate is a great investment, right?
Call my guy, Chris.
Yeah, right. But nothing is as good of an investment as you, right? You know, in yourself. You have to invest in yourself, because that's a guaranteed return on your investment. No matter what, investing in yourself, there's nothing better. And get coaching. I said it in the beginning. I just firmly believe that if you want to be the best version of yourself, you need to have other people help you get there. Don't try to do it yourself. Learn from people who have done it. So, you know, if you're on the fence, just go for it.
I love it. So what I love is, you know, I'd forgotten you earlier. You mentioned you were number one in your last company, and obviously they laid you off because the company was not doing well. What would you say is someone that was at the top of the game like you, who was maybe on the fence, like I'm already a killer. I'm already really good at my job. You know, what would you tell someone like that?
You're in a really dangerous place. You know, as soon as you think that you've made it and that you know everything that you need to know, that's when you start to decline. Right? Continuous education, continuous improvement. Because there's no plateauing, right? You're not just going to stay where you're at. You're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. So if you're doing really great, good for you, get better so that you don't get worse.
I love it, man. Greatness is a choice, man. I love that. So anything else you want to share?
Just do it. You know, just invest in yourself is the main thing. You know, for me, I had a lot of success, and I don't think I would have had the same success if I didn't join your program. And I just wish other people could see that and take action. I get that it's, you know, it's a concern. It's like the fear of unknown, right? You know, what if I don't have these results? But just understand, you're going to learn something. You're going to get better, and you'll never make a better investment other than investing in yourself.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate my man. Thank you so much for being on.
Hey, my pleasure, Marcus. Anytime. I'll see you later, man.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Chris. And if you're interested in getting results like Chris, in which he's nearly quadrupling his income, closing a lot more business, he's more happy and more confident, but also been able to buy his dream home, buy a new car, but also give back. If you're interested in that, make sure to click the button anywhere on the page below or somewhere around here to book a time with my team to see if we potentially help you as well. Thank you so much for watching.